I have a really cool Power Ranger Spin Fighter thing to show you here from Japan. This is kind of the normal release you might be familiar with if you're from the US or Europe or countries like that. They were just little battling top things, just some merchandise of Power Rangers from the time they were popular. Starting out, the first season used footage from a show called Zyuranger in Japan that was from 1992. Power Rangers starting 1993. Of course, they would eventually run out of the footage of that show. They'd start using at least one costume from the next show, Dai Ranger, from the series that all those Japan shows were from, the Super Sentai series. So they started using more footage from the shows coming after, taking like the giant robots and costumes and things. So that was the second show, and then the third show, Kakuranger, where they got the ninja Zords and the ninja costumes, and you kind of would have the alien rangers kind of thing of the Power Rangers show. And so I have some merchandise from Japan from Kakuranger. Here's the Spin Fighter launcher that would shoot the tops, just to remind you of the shape here. Because here's a little product I didn't know about until now. There we have the Kaku Red Ranger. That'd be the red alien ranger in the Power Rangers show. So there we can see it's the same kind of launcher, a little bit different, darker gold, red button on the side, but the same kind of device that can open up. We can see an image of the Rangers from that show. So this is merchandise from the Japan version of the show that would just get edited in the US version into a later season of Power Rangers. There we can see there's no pink Ranger, they just had the white Ranger. Because they would change that up once in a while between the seasons, because they'd just be all new stories. They weren't actually connected. So there we have the name, and then some of the symbols of the individual Rangers color-coded, which will be handy. The same kind of shiny inside as the usual launcher. I've been looking up the Japan releases because they did more of this kind of top fighting toy. Never saw anything about these. So it came with a set of 5 for the 5 Rangers. So here's the Red Rangers with the symbol that you'd see on the Zord and things like that that had to do with the show. They're just all metal. Usually there'd be a sticker or something like that. Not so with this set. And then they're kind of worn here with the metal. You can see it probably needs some kind of metal cleaner. It's a solid piece. Usually they were screw off, or the American ones would just pull off. So they're a little bit different. This is the Star Trek one. Oh wait, no, that's different. This would be the White Rangers symbol. Again, this is where they had the big Shogun Zord, where they were all kind of individual, like robot bodies that would come together, but then also they had the animal kind of Zords, like the Falcon for the White Ranger here. I guess there was the Crane as well. So it gets a little confusing when you're trying to use the different teams between the shows. I'm still in the middle of watching the Kakuranger season. I like to watch those just to see the footage unedited as it was in Power Rangers, just the full show in Japan. It's cool to see because kind of nostalgic for those costumes and monsters and things. I believe this will be the Yellow Rangers symbol here on this one, kind of the triangle. The square bit for blue, and the hexagon for 5. A little unique shape there. So I could find some images of like the boxed version of it. So it's a cool little box set. It looks a lot like the Sailor Moon set that I do have a video about too. Because I'm doing videos about a lot of the Japanese ones. I'm kind of importing and collecting these because they're kind of tied to that 90s time period that I collect a lot of here. As well as the link to Power Rangers here, especially with this one. I knew this kind of toy from when I was a kid playing with Power Ranger stuff and I was collecting those tops. Meanwhile in Japan, for the original shows that were designing the costumes and characters, there was merchandise of its own, and this was one that I never knew about. So I was lucky to get a hold of one so I could show you, and I want to add this to my kind of Power Ranger-y / Super Sentai collection. Never watched the original Japanese shows as a kid, but I saw all the imagery and had like the toys of them. So I'm kind of weirdly nostalgic for them in that way, despite not knowing the source material of those costumes, monsters, giant robots, and the designs and things. That's why I usually like to show here is older action figure things from the 90s period that I would have liked to have as a kid, or some things that I did have. And a little side project, little smaller toys like this I like to show once in a while too, just because they interest me. So if this is the type of stuff you like and you made it to the end of this video, probably want to check out other stuff here. Maybe even just click on the channel and look around. Try to organize everything into playlists so you can pick and choose what you like to see. So I appreciate you being here, and hopefully I'll get to see you in the next video.